All right, Fresh, let's go to our next game. This is the other game that won our fan vote here. And again, like I said, folks, follow us on social media so you can participate in the fan vote. So this was our leading vote getter. This game is on December 23rd. It's the Utah Utes. It is the Northwestern Wildcats, who we got to talk about Northwestern coming from a one-win season, firing their coach a month before the season, and somehow, some way, they win 7 games this year. Also, who's going to play quarterback for Utah? Because 3 quarterbacks are in the portal. Bryson Barnes, their main starting quarterback for Utah this year, he's in the portal. Nate Johnson, he's in the portal. Could we see, and again, I don't know what the rules are because Cam Rising basically said that he's coming back next year. Could we see Cam Rising finally come back?
I
I
think the
doubt
medical
it.
red shirt probably has to kick in where you can't play, but it would be interesting to see if he decided to waive and come back.
But so, and again, I don't know what the rules are for a medical red shirt. I know red shirt you can play up to 4 games and still get a red shirt. I wonder if
The
the
bowl games
medical.
actually don't count against that now, so technically you can play in the bowl game regardless.
I
I know
wonder
from
if
that
that's
from the red shirt perspective. I'm not sure about the medical side, but I do know from red shirt
right.
side you can play the
Hey,
4 games and then play the bowl game. It doesn't count.
if you're listening to this and you know the answer to that question, leave it in the comments right there as well. Man, Fresh, I think this is a big game for Utah. I really do. Utah's moving to the Big 12 next year. They, with everything that they have done over the last 3 years, with everything that they've been able to do, with being able to win the Pac 12 twice, they've gone to the Rose Bowl twice, getting smoked both times, but they could legitimately move over to the Big 12 and become the Big 12 powerhouse. I think that the coaching staff is definitely there, but they got to win this Las Vegas Bowl. Northwestern, wow. Just wow. Like, I'm impressed. I'll let you go there, Fresh. They don't got
I
a
mean,
lot of guys in the portal for Northwestern.
no. I think Northwestern's the story in this ballgame. That's kind of what you brought up initially. Obviously, the Fitzgerald stuff. If you don't know what we're talking about, look it up online. It's a really weird and terrible situation that happened over this. That obviously for many years, and he was fired in the summer. David Brown was given a very, very tough assignment. Hey, you're the interim head coach. Hold this thing together. You have a month to get the team ready to go. Oh, and go play the Big Ten, schedule and try to survive. He's
With
now
a
the head coach. So,
high-rated academic school, too. Wait, hold
yes.
off on that. With a very high academic rated school, which is a challenge. Go ahead, Fresh.
And they just go ahead and they take care of business. Now, what's even more daunting on top of this is in 2022, they had 1 conference win. In 2021, they had 3 conference wins. In 2019, they had 3 conference wins. That is 7 conference wins. 2020, they went to the Big Ten title game. I'm pulling that one out. But 3 of the past 4 years, they were not going to bowl games, and they barely made a dent in the Big Ten. And this team put it all together against all the odds of terrible things happening, rallied, and got 7 wins on the schedule, went 7-5, and they were in a bowl game. It is one of the craziest stories. Statistically, if you looked at what they've done offensively, defensively, there's no way that this team in your mind would have said, yeah, that's a bowl team. That team is really good. But somehow they play football for each other. They made it ugly. They wore people down, and they got victories. They didn't have to be pretty. They weren't doing it for style points to get the playoff committee to get their attention. They were just doing it to get wins and get to a bowl game, and they've accomplished those goals. I mean, actually, I misspoke. 3 conference wins combined between 19, 21, and 22. But still, absolutely horrible run, and they put it all together for this year. Ben Bryant, who had been at Eastern Michigan, Cincinnati, been around, comes to Northwestern. Not the prettiest of quarterbacking, but he somehow got it, was able to manage the offense just enough. Cam Porter, the running back, 618 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. Nothing spectacular, but the offense just continued to move the chains and did what they had to do. They only average 105 rushing yards a game and 22.8 points a game. We're not talking lights out amazing offense from Northwestern, but they were able to have enough points at the end of the game in 7 situations more than the opponent. And that's all that mattered at the end of the year. Defensively, linebackers Bryce Gallagher, 110 tackles, and Xander Mueller, 102 tackles, 5 sacks, and 3 picks. Xander Mueller, that sounds like a sci-fi character. They were the Rock's defense, and the two of them held it together, kept the guys organized, and got them off the field and made plays to help their team. And sometimes you see the individuals, those guys who are going to grind it out and make things happen. And they paid attention. They were within the defense. They played within themselves, and they got things done. This football team, they're going to a bowl game, and Michigan State, Indiana, Nebraska, Purdue, Illinois, Minnesota are not. For all the funding, the hype, the hubbub of all those other programs, they aren't going where Northwestern's going to a bowl game. So somewhere in this program, maybe it's just guys galvanized and playing together. There's no real philosophy offensively or defensively, but they just sort of figured it out and they got it done. Ninth in the Big Ten in yards allowed, sixth in the Big Ten in passing yards allowed, the worst run defense in the conference, giving up 159 yards a game. And somehow this team is 7-5. That just shows you there's more than just the numbers. It is guys playing for each other and hustling and getting things done, doing the little things right. It is not sexy, but it's wins, and that's what matters. I think that's where maybe this team goes back to having one or two more wins next year. Who knows? But for this 1 year, they all figured it out and they got it done. Do they stand a chance versus Utah? You got to give a puncher's chance, but right. I think Utah, and you mentioned earlier, the 2 Rose Bowls and getting the crap beat out of them, both of them. This team wants a bowl win. It's been a long time since the Utes have won a bowl game. Whittingham, you had 4 losses against 4 ranked teams. I think there's an anger and there's an innate ability this program has at Utah to just rise up and get it done. They're going to be gritty. They're going to be nasty. They're mean. They're angry. I think they come in here and they take out a lot of aggression on Northwestern. Northwestern's going to be amped up in the first half. It's a bowl game. They're excited. But as the 4 quarters play out, the overall toughness and the veteran ability of a Utah football team is going to take over. And they're going to run the football all day long. I'm not going to name who's in the portal, who's not in the portal, because I don't even know. But I think this Utah football team, whoever they have, they just put the uniform on and they get it done. It reminds me of a St. Louis Cardinals baseball team. They just had a bunch of dudes who just walked out there. They were 200 hitters or they would give up ERAs of 5 and 6, and they put the uniform on, and somehow they're all-stars. The guys they put the uniform on and they figure it out. Utah, they got dudes who just come in there, they put the uniform on, and they figure it out, and they get it done. And on this game in Vegas, they're going to go into the house that Al Davis built and Mark Davis built, and they're going to take care of business, and they're going to put a whooping on Northwestern. They're going to take out a lot of bowl pain on them, and they're going to finish the season on a high note. Great season for Northwestern, but you guys just don't have enough to handle what Utah is about to bring in the bowl game.
Well, this is interesting here, Fresh. Bryson Barnes has come out and said that even though he's in the portal, he's not going to leave Utah hanging, and he is going to play in the bowl game for them. That's huge for them. That is huge. And it's something that kind of caught me off guard because I was checking in on the medical red shirt thing and if Cam Rising can play, and it came across that Bryson Barnes has said that he's going to play in the bowl game. He's going to stay with the Utes until after the bowl game. I think the name that everyone needs to know is Jaquindon Jackson, the running back for Utah. I think especially Kyle Whittingham is a brilliant coach, and he is going to know how to attack Northwestern. He is going to want to get that bowl win. He's going to want to go into 2024 on a high note. I think that he's going to run the football on first down. He's going to run on second, run on third, and force Northwestern to stop them. I think that's going to be interesting. You know, you take a look at the Vaki, who has done Sion Vaki, who, while he's playing, he's a two-way player. He is not in the portal, so he should be playing in this game, especially at the time of record that we're recording it right now. So if that changes here by the time that this game kicks off, you know, so be it. But that could be another real big difference maker. Utah's got the tight ends. They're going to be able to hit the tight ends, move the ball up and down the field. I don't know like I said, Barnes is saying that he's going to play in this football game. So hopefully he keeps up with that. But again, with Northwestern, great job by you. You're going to Las Vegas for the Las Vegas Bowl. Utah is a 6.5-point favorite in this football game. I like Utah with those points, but we need to give Northwestern their credit for this game. Seriously, with how many programs could navigate and do what they did for this year? That's just an impressive feat by them.
Look, they're going to a bowl game, and teams like Florida aren't going to a bowl game. And that I don't care who you play in your schedule. They figured it out and they got it done. They got wins. Maybe the games they shouldn't even won, but they figured it out.
Right. And really, would anyone in their right mind have picked Northwestern to win this many football games this year? No one. I remember in preseason, there was conversations as Northwestern as one of the teams that could go and not win a single game this year. When the coaching scandal happened, and look at where they are now.
Well, here's another thing. All the hype around Colorado to begin the year. Everything is up. They have 4 wins. The coaching, I don't care what you say, like offensive line was a problem for Colorado. Defense was an issue, but coaching was also a problem. They maybe overhyped some guys, put too much flash, a lot of pressure on them. Who knows? Nebraska, a lot of hype there. No bowl game. Minnesota, a lot of hype, a lot of big time. The coach there is trying to row the boat. No bowl game. What Northwestern did, they battened down the hatches. They said we're gonna be who we are. We're gonna be disciplined. We're gonna figure it out, and we're gonna grind it out. And we're gonna get wins. They don't have to be flashy because right now they're playing in late December, January, and other teams are home on the recruiting trail trying to figure out how they're gonna do for their roster next year.
Right.